Metroid Prime 4 is coming out soon. I can feel it. The game's been in development for quite some time too. That being said, it's far too late to change anything, or even theorize what Retro can and should do. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'll do you one better. I'm gonna give Retro the formula that guarantees Prime 4 outselling Breath of the Wild. Probably. Let me explain. Metroid games are built different. There's a reason why many people cite Super Metroid as the best game ever made, or they call on it for inspiration with their own projects. All of that comes down to the Metroid formula, or as I like to call it, the hook and loop. The hook is simple. You start with the basic Samus that can jump, shoot, and move. The beginning of the games have a few branching paths you can explore and probably get a few other things. But eventually, you're funneled down to one path. Maybe the ledge was too high on one path, or you couldn't open a specific door at the time. Regardless, you know you can't continue down that path. That's where it hooks you. That's where the goal is set in our subconscious. How dare this game? How dare it stop me from exploring? You realize you need an ability to address these locked off paths, so you can explore more. That's where the loop comes in, or more commonly known, the gameplay loop. In any given Metroid game, you're gonna explore until you're walled off by an obstacle. You then seek out an ability to address these obstacles. Then you explore some more until you're walled off again. Rinse and repeat until the game ends. And let me tell you, it feels very good to play. That's because of the player progression, which is very important for making a game feel good. So remember that term, player progression. Another thing that makes Metroid games feel good to play has only really been touched by the hardcore market. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, he's talking about speedrunning. Kinda. It's derived from speedrunning, which is self-expression. Keep that in your mind too. Self-expression. You see, in the speedrunning community, they want to beat the game as fast as possible. That's their way of playing. And crazy thought, they should be allowed to do so. Speedrunners usually get power-ups out of the intended order. Whatever helps them beat the game the fastest. That's their playstyle. Crazy enough, I think Prime 4 should accommodate this. In fact, that should be part of its identity. The tagline should be, play your way. Metroid Prime 4 should be the most accommodating game in the series. Which brings me to the formula. The formula that Prime should use is combining player progression with self-expression. Each player should sort of have their own upgrade path. The gameplay itself could be a story to tell. One person should say that they went north, found the space jump boots, and got to the second floor of the Eiffel Tower. Another should respond by saying they used the morph ball shaft. Then I should be able to tell these two that I went east and got the grapple beam and bypassed both parts entirely. Now, before you go shaking your head at me and the idea, let me elaborate. Not every problem presented should have multiple solutions. I think most puzzles should still require a singular solution or power-up, like I still need to break these types of walls with a morph ball bomb. The game would and obviously should limit important paths to maybe 1 or 3 possible solutions. An obvious one and a not so obvious solution. I'm mainly referring to the exploration of the game and potentially sequence breaking. In essence, I think they should adopt a more flexible design with how we get to places. This would enhance the feeling of discoverability in these games, which Prime has always excelled at, so why not take it further? If the design was flexible enough, it could even extend further. Maybe the player could combine power-ups for more advanced traversal options. One absurd idea I had was being able to combine the grapple beam with the morph ball and the speed ball for some craziness. Like, how awesome would it be if you could use these 3 in tandem to fling Samus at a long enough distance to reach a missile expansion that you were supposed to get by using the screw attack? Now, of course, if my ideas seem a little outlandish, I completely understand and I agree with you. That example is pretty absurd. It's also easy to see how this could turn very ugly very quickly. I personally think player expression is worth it though. Players ought to play however they see fit. That at the very least should extend to the control options. If the design is anything like how I proposed, they might use a more traditional standardized control scheme, using the left and right stick for movement and camera respectively, which would be fine, but I think controller remapping is a must, no matter how the game plays. After the treatment Prime Remastered received with the control options, why not take it further? At the end of the day, if a game has more options, isn't that for the best? I feel taking these steps as well as a strong marketing campaign will set Prime 4 up to potentially outsell Breath of the Wild. Maybe. They already have a good start with releasing Prime Remastered. People want more of the same, but better. As I mentioned, if they take what they have and push the envelope by taking player expression to the next level, Prime 4 will be an absolute success. And that's not even mentioning the look of the game or the environmental storytelling, which hopefully both will be up to Prime Remastered standards. At the end of the day, I'm actually not too worried about the sales for Prime 4. When Prime Remastered released, it remained the top seller on digital storefronts. So I don't doubt Prime 4 will sell in the millions. Let's just hope they make enough physical releases this time. What do you guys think of my ramblings? Do you have anything to add? Do you hope for anything in particular with Prime 4? And as always, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys next mission.